The most common complaint with the Invincible series is that it has a problem with the AN. And if you're up to date with social media, you've probably noticed that many people are commenting that the animation of the third season of Invincible leaves a lot to be desired. Since there are scenes that seem to be made up of separate PNGs that are later joined together, which makes the season feel somewhat cheap. But on the other hand, have you noticed the English voice cast? J.K. Simmons, Seth Rogen, Sandra Oh, and Steve Young lead the series. It really seems to spare no expense hiring star talents like Aaron Paul, Jon Hamm, Simu Liu, and Ella Purnell, who probably don't come cheap. They have someone who recently won the Best Actor award at the Oscars. Right now, I'll tell you all the names, but the strangest thing is that they suddenly use these big celebrities for small roles. For example, Jon Hamm plays Steve Mee. I'm referring to this security guard who appears in the first episode and talks about how he wants to have a great trip to England with his stepson. Which tells us that Invincible is basically this meme. Could it be that they are spending the animation money on the voices? That's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome to Geek Beats, small doses of mind-enriching geek culture. Today we will talk about the problem with the voices of Invincible. I remember when I was watching the first season of Invincible, a friend told me that Ezra Miller was in the cast. And we're talking about the Ezra Miller from 2021, the one we'd just fallen for in the Snyder Cut, who hadn't yet fought with half of Hawaii or posted bizarre things on Instagram. I mean, there was already a woman by this point, but it seems like the internet had forgotten about it at that time. The point is that in Invincible, Miller played an evil scientist who kidnapped people to modify them cybernetically, named District Attorney Sinclair. And after this, I started paying attention to the voices and checking the internet every time a new season came out to see who else was in the cast. Let me tell you, the voice cast of Invincible is impressive. These are some of the names: J.K. Simmons, Omni-Man, Steve Young, Invincible, Sandra Oh, Debbie, Sassy Beats, Amber Seth Rogen, Alan the Alien, Mark Hamill, Art, Walter Goggins, Cecil Mahershala, Ali Titan, Ezra Miller, District Attorney Sinclair, Laura Cohen, War Woman, Jon Hamm, Steve, Tatiana Maslany, Queen Aquaria, Rhea Seehorn, Andresa, Aaron Paul, Powerplex, Kate Mara, Becky Duvall, Dropkick and Fightmaster, Zolo Maridueña, Multipole, Simu Liu, Ella Purnell, Jane Callista Flockhart, April, Jonathan Banks Britt, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan Conquest. If you notice, these are cameos that don't sound cheap, which makes us wonder, how much budget does the Invincible series have? There is no official confirmation, but Marge Dean, the series producer and head of Skybound Entertainment, one of the animating studios, mentioned it once. She said that Invincible has approximately a quarter of the budget per episode of what The Boys series has, which costs around $11 million per episode. This reveals a budget of $2.75 million per episode, which sounds like a significant amount. Can you imagine how many closets could be bought with that money? But let's remember that this money is used for everything: animators, directors, composers, music. And yes, also that badass voice cast we already talked about. I think something that would help us is to put things in perspective. How much does the Invincible series cost compared to other famous animations? Famous animations like Rick and Morty or The Simpsons have an approximate budget of between $1.5 and $2 million per episode. Invincible comes out on top, but we must consider the differences. A first and major difference is that Invincible is a superhero series taken from a comic. So obviously the technical needs to be able to animate these large and epic battles are greater, which translates into more expenses. The other major difference is shows like Rick and Morty. They mainly have a cast of voice specialized actresses and actors who play several characters within the same franchise and occasionally have some guests. In the case of Invincible, it's different. Yes, they have one or another voice specialized actor like John DiMaggio or Fred Tatasciore. But they also focus a lot on hiring what is commonly called star talents, big name actors and actresses who generally charge more money. For example, if we look for another streaming show focused on action and that mainly uses star talents, we have the case of Arcane from Netflix, a series that has an approximate budget of $14 million per episode, more than 5 times the budget of Invincible. It's worth noting that Arcane's animation is different and technically more demanding than Invincible's, so it's not an equal comparison. But I think all these examples give us a complete overview of the situation. The issue is complex as a significant part of the budget is allocated to voices rather than animation. According to official data from the Media Workers Union, the Screen Actors Guild American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, that is, the union that represents voice actors, In the United States, the minimum rate for a 4-hour recording session on a television animated series is approximately $1,000 per actor. But remember that this minimum amount applies to professional voice actors who do this work on a recurring basis. Whereas so-called star talents like Jade O.K. Simmons or Mahershala Ali have non-standardized rates that are negotiated individually, what is a fact is that these voices are not hired for $1,000. In fact, their salary is likely much higher even if they only say a couple of lines, as with Jon Hamm. In some instances, a character's original voice actor did not return due to scheduling or budget constraints. Ezra Miller, who played District Attorney Sinclair in Episode 6, did not return for Episode 7, where his character conveniently has a broken jaw. In the following seasons, his voice was portrayed by voice actor Eric Bosa, who surely charged much less and surely does not hate Hawaii. The same happened with Mahershala Ali and his character Titan, as in the 3rd season he was also replaced by a voice actor. This leads me to ponder, Invincible boasts a costly voice cast, but to what extent do these renowned actors enhance the series? I mean, do you really think the expense is justified? I understand that they want renowned actors and actresses for the main voices, especially for marketing purposes. And well, having J.K. Simmons in the role of Omni-Man is something precious. It seems like an unnecessary expense to cast superstars in very short minor roles. You often don't get to see the full acting range of certain guests, regardless of their talent. I mean, Mahershala Ali is a great actor who did a great job as Titan. But did you miss his voice enough in Season 3 to justify spending thousands on him? I honestly didn't. But surely Amazon is looking to market the series through the fame of the actors and actresses who make these cameos. But we must question the effectiveness of this strategy. That is, it's true that I was excited to see Aaron Paul as Powerplex, but I personally wouldn't have started watching the series just because he appears. I mean, in my case, it's more like since I'm already watching the series, it's cool that Aaron Paul is in it. Let me know in the comments if a voice actor would convince you to start watching Invincible or another animated series. And look, I wouldn't have any problem with these cameos, but honestly, I feel like the voices are taking up a good portion of the budget. Budget that perhaps should go to the animation area so they can hire more people to detail all these scenes. Especially because we not only want a great Invincible series, we want a great Invincible series that doesn't take more than 3 years to arrive, just like what happened between the 1st and 2nd season, which was also divided into 2 parts. And look, like this, I understand that it seems like we fans want everything. But considering that the comics creator wants between 7 and 9 seasons to tell the complete story in the series, just imagine how long it would take us to see the end of Invincible if there were 2 to 3 years of separation between each season. Can you imagine waiting 8 to 18 years to see that ending? Invincible provides a fresh twist to superhero stories while maintaining a great narrative, an impressive voice cast, and a solid place in the audience. The excessive use of star talents for minor roles seems to be draining part of the budget that could well be used to improve the animation. While it is true that famous voices can bring commercial value, perhaps it's time to prioritize the visual side so that the series animation matches its ambitious narrative. Or we can ask Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon and the world's 2nd richest man, to invest a little more in his series because it has transcended the comic niche and has become a reference within pop culture. If you enjoyed this Invincible video, check out my video essay discussing the secret to the story's success and the character's philosophy. If you made it this far, I assure you that you will like it. That's all for today. I am Go. Keep looking beyond the obvious.